Yo, guys, how's it going? We are officially live, and I hope you guys can hear me. What a tough game from the Buffalo Bills today. They go down the Giants. I'm really happy with the outcome of the Giants game. I truly am. I mean, today's game, the Giants i- with Pat Shermer, I'm so ready to get rid of him. And I'm just Daniel Jones played really well today, stepped up in the second half. Um, Jonesy stepped up and you know, the Giants, yeah, I mean, they showed some heart. I love the defensive line. Like Leonard Williams played great. Tomlinson, Marcus Golden got in a 14-0 hole, and Jamal Adams made a hell of a play. But I'm not upset at all. I mean, this team is a losing team. The Jets are great at winning meaningless football. You guys are stuck with Adam Gase, who absolutely suck. And the Jets are going absolutely nowhere. And real smart Jets fans know that they blew up their chance at getting like a Chase Young or a great draft pick. So, Jets fans that, are realistic about winning in the future, today was terrible for their future. They might have bragging rights, but frankly, the Giants aren't a team that's I'm not emotionally invested in something that is not going to potentially even win a championship. Um, the Bills game was I mean, the 52-yard field goal going for it, I kinda like the decision to go for it. I mean, Steve Hauschka needed to aim more right, and he's not a strong kicker. The field goal before the half really screwed him up. A lot of people, a lot of like hot take people on Twitter are saying that Josh Allen, played a terrible game of football today. I thought the offensive line, there were just so many holding calls that got the Bills in horrible predicaments. And I thought Josh in the intermediate passing game, it was actually one of his best games. And it was really on him moving the ball. I would have went to the running game with Singletary a little bit more because he was running it well, but I didn't think Dable was egregious. I mean, the quarterback draw worked. The Bills would move the ball, and then just really stupid holding penalties really cost them. And that game today from Buffalo, I mean, Baker Mayfield is just a clutch quarterback. And at the end of the game, he made plays. And the Bills defense is they're all right. They're a wild card team. They're not as good as when they started off the year. And, the Bills, again, they're a team that's young, learning to win. They're not like in the elite category yet. And they're going to learn from this 6-3. They're going to get to 11-5. Um, I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. Just crazy games today in the NFL, but really let's go back to the Giants, Alex Sports. What's happening to the Giants is just the Giants don't have a great defense. I mean, Sam Darnold today, he's not a good quarterback. Daniel Jones is clearly the better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold against pressure is not good at all. He has a really weak arm. I mean, he can't win from the pocket. He floats the ball. The only way he gets touchdowns are yards after catch. I mean, he can't hit a long pass. He can only hit a 10-yard throw. And Sam Darnold is a much weaker Dak Prescott. And he's not even close to Dak Prescott. He's not even at Andy Dalton's level. And the Jets they're in a really tough spot. But the Giants and Daniel Jones, at least Daniel Jones shows toughness. At least Daniel Jones makes really good touch throws. At least Daniel Jones can have a little bit of arm strength when needed. And I think Daniel Jones is going to continue to learn. I mean, this offensive line lost a lot of pieces. The running game was abysmal today, and the Jets own the line of scrimmage. And the Giants, they got to get rid of Pat Shermer. I mean, today wasn't his worst coaching job in the world, but even at the end of games and just in these scenarios, he's just not the guy to lead the Giants to the promised land. And the Giants are stacking building pieces together. Okay. The Giants have a lot of pieces to build because the Giants, they have great defensive linemen, okay? Tomlinson, Williams. I mean, the Giants stifled Le'Veon Bell today. They got to Sam Darnold a lot. Jabril Peppers, DeAndre Baker made plays. The Jets got bailed out by that pass interference play. So the Giants, their defense, with another couple of recruiting classes, the Giants have the formula for a really, really good defense. Daniel Jones, Golden Tate playing great. And how about Darius Slayton, a rookie fifth round pick coming in there and being awesome? So you get back Ryan Connolly. You had Ogletree play his best game today. You had Golden Tate step up and play well. There were just so many guys that played really well. It's just that Jamal Adams touchdown won them the game. And then also the offensive line troubles and not being able to run it. And Saquon's going to be healthy. He's clearly not healthy. And this offensive line with Kevin Zeitler, Will Hernandez, they're going to get even more depth in the coming years. And they're actually going to get a really good coach. Like, I see so many good players on the Giants, and I'm really proud of Daniel Jones. Again, 4 touchdowns today. And the Giants, once again, are heading down to get a great, great draft pick. So the Giants are going to have so many great options. And with this loss, Pat Shurmur continues to lose games. James Betcher continues to lose games. And it's just a great positive for Giants fans that the Giants were able to lose today, because now they're really heading down towards maybe a top 3, top 4 pick in the draft when the playoffs were over. So if you're not making the playoffs, you got to get a great draft pick. Josh Allen is not trash. I mean, Josh Allen played really well today. I don't know what game. I don't know what game you guys were watching today. The Bills defense is the one that is really overrated. I mean, their running defense is overrated. They stopped the Browns in the red zone, but I mean the Browns, if they cooperated in the red zone, could have put up like 28 points today. And the Browns aren't as bad as their record indicates, and that's why the Browns were favored in this game at home. And I just think Josh Allen is doing a lot with Cole Beasley. He's doing a lot with John Brown. And Josh Allen's playing some good football, and he led the Bills down there with a chance to kick a field goal. Hauschka missed 2 kicks. If Hauschka makes those field goals, the Bills are going to end up winning the game. And Josh Allen, again, in the fourth quarter, gave his defense a chance to win the game. I don't know what more you could expect. I mean, he missed a couple long throws, but Josh Allen throws the ball a lot, and he has big play potential. He doesn't have a true number 1 receiver, and he played really well. I mean, Dawson Knox dropped that horrible pass that Dawson Knox with a terrible drop caused a 4th down. So Josh Allen is a big-time talent. He's going to have a much better career even than Lamar Jackson. Everybody is focusing short term on how good Lamar Jackson is. But Josh Allen, I've seen for 2 years, Josh Allen and Mayfield are going to be better than Lamar Jackson. I think that that's pretty clear today. Kyler Murray is going to continue to get really good. He made some terrible decisions today. Like, that interception is really a learning experience. And the Cardinals, they were up by 4 points. They had the ball. The Bucs had 1 timeout. They had the ball on the 15-yard line of the Buccaneers. If they just would have sat on the ball, they would have been up 7, kicking the ball deep to Jameis Winston, and they probably would have gotten another turnover. That call to throw the ball and then for Kyler Murray to put the ball in harm's way. Oh, man. And then the Cardinals defense, they just choked in every possible way. And then that 2-minute drill was just atrocious. So that Arizona game was just disgusting. The Bills game was really disgusting because every time they'd have terrible, stupid holding calls. And when it's 1st and 20, you're pretty much screwed every time. So the Bills, so many false starts, so many terrible, terrible, offensive line problems with Buffalo, and then just like not running the ball, and the defense. The defense played well in spots. They weren't lights out today. They played well in spots, but I mean, yeah, this offense is not taking advantage when it crosses midfield, and they're not hitting any big plays for touchdowns. And Josh is missing a couple of throws, but they're also not running it at all. They refuse to run the ball, and it's infuriating. And this Bills team is a good team, but they're going to lose some games that they should win because they play way too close to teams. And today, like, their play finally kind of caught up with them, and they're 6-3. But guess what? They have the Cowboys coming up. Like, they can win some of these games. They can focus and lock in. 6-3. It's not the end of the world, and they're building for the playoffs this year. And I just think the Bills have a chance. I really do. I think that Josh Allen is going to be a very special player. I agree that Saquon's the right pick. Darnold is not a good quarterback. He can't throw the ball deep. He has no arm strength whatsoever, and he's not a dynamic athlete. He's not even like Lamar Jackson. He is just not a franchise quarterback. The Jets don't have a franchise quarterback. They don't have a head coach. They have some really good defensive talent. Their D line is fantastic, but that's the real strength of their team. And the Giants, they just make terrible mistakes. They're missing all their offensive line pieces. And the Giants in the secondary are going to continue to get more people in the secondary. And James Betcher is a terrible teacher. James Betcher can't teach. So Darnold is not. If Darnold's your franchise quarterback, you're going to end up being the Dolphins. I mean, Darnold's not winning anything anytime soon. That's a good question, Saeed. I mean, the Saints have this game every year, where they play down to a division opponent at home, was coming off of a bye. The LSU game was late at night. I'm not worried about the Saints. The Saints are still going to be deep into the playoffs. It's the NFL. You're not going to have a perfect season, and it's great news for the 49ers. They're going to get home field now. And that's why it's big news. But I'm not, buying into this whole Teddy Bridgewater thing or Drew Brees or anything. It's the nature of the league. The Falcons today, they had some talent. I don't think it's a big game for Dan Quinn either. I still think that he's probably gone at the end of this year. But I got to give Mike Vrabel credit. Mike Vrabel is going to be back for a third season. The Titans are 5-5. The Titans are going to, they're going to go 8-8, but it was a good win for them at Nissan Stadium today. And they're still going to have a couple of meaningful games left. Tannehill with a big completion to Humphreys. I mean, the Titans also getting a fumble recovery for a touchdown. And it's not the worst thing for Kansas City either, because Kansas City in that division, which that division has totally plummeted. I mean, the Chargers, the Oakland Raiders, and Denver has really plummeted lately. Their roster has stayed the same, and they've continually have gotten worse. The Chiefs are going to have a home playoff game, and then who cares? Like, if you take your shot at New England in the second week of the playoffs, how's that different than taking your shot against New England in the championship game? I mean, they made the championship game last year. Like, who cares if the Chiefs are 12-4 or 10-6? Like, it's not a big deal whatsoever that they lost today to the Tennessee Titans. Like, that's not at all, going to factor in. It's not a big deal at all. No, the Browns are not back, but Freddie Kitchens, I think Freddie's going to have another year, and I think that the hate for Freddie Kitchens is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, just people on Twitter think that they can call plays better than a guy who's been around the game of football for like 40 years. I mean, Freddie Kitchens in the red zone today, he tried to run up the middle. He ran toss plays. Browns fans yell about not giving Odell Beckham the ball, and they throw him fade routes. They're trying to get Odell Beckham involved. And Baker Mayfield today, he made one of the best throws you'll ever see. He hit Jarvis Landry in a spot in the first half of the game that almost no quarterback could make the throw that Baker Mayfield made today. Then he hit Jarvis Landry late in the game, a clutch touchdown drive. I mean, Mayfield is going to be a big-time quarterback for years and years. He and Josh Allen, today we saw a battle of titans between Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen, a battle of absolute titans. So I just think that Baker Mayfield is super, super legit. Darnold is not better than Jones. Jones today with 4 touchdown passes. Jones, his mobility is so much better than Darnold. He's tough as shit. And Daniel Jones is in his first year in the league with a terrible head coach. There's no offensive line for Daniel Jones and no running game at all. And the New York Jets, like they had this home game. Okay. The Jets also have talent on the defense. They have May. They have Jamal Adams. You have Quinnen Williams. And still, Daniel Jones tore up Greg Williams. Who's a better defensive coordinator, Greg Williams or James Betcher? And Daniel Jones was the only reason the Giants were in the game at all today. He put up a lot of points. He's doing this with a coach that is not going to be here next year. Okay, Daniel Jones is proving that he's going to be capable of playing in this league for a long time. He's a much better leader than Sam Darnold. The team respects Daniel Jones more. And I'm telling you, Sam Darnold in that locker room I'm just telling you, Sam Darnold's not going to be a very good player because he can't throw the ball deep. He also has a fumbling problem. And, Darnold, he can make up when he rolls out right, he can make one throw, but Jones is significantly bigger than Darnold, has a much bigger arm, is much more accurate, can process quicker. I mean, Darnold today was stepping up in the pocket. He made a couple of throws. It's all yard after catch. That's all it is. And the Giants have the worst secondary in football. I don't think it's coaching either, Jamie. I think that the Browns' offensive line is not where it needs to be. The Browns, I don't think Steve Wilkes is necessarily that good of a defensive coordinator. Just because the Browns have some receivers that can make some plays, wide receivers doesn't equal talent. Talent is, are you good in the trenches? And that's why the Colts have a lot of talent. That's why teams. I'll tell you who also has talent. The Patriots still have some talent. Or I'll tell you a team that has talent like the Saints. They have Cameron Jordan, Nick Bosa. Defensive linemen are talent. If you have good linebackers, if you have wide receivers like the Falcons have Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, those are very good wide receivers, but that doesn't mean that the team is a talented team. Their defense is the same crap defense that has been drawn out the last couple of years. So it matters, are you good in the trenches? Do you have good defensive linemen, and are your offensive linemen good? And can you have a running game? That's what the NFL is. It's a running game, and who's going to run the football in January is going to win. I absolutely think Balboa that, first of all, Daniel Jones today, when Jamal Adams is coming in to take the ball from you. I mean, Daniel Jones still has big hands to grip the ball. He's still a tough, strong kid. I mean, he even ran the football today and was bouncing off a tackler. So, I mean, Daniel Jones, this offensive line is not good, and Daniel Jones is taking NFL hits for the first time. And it's something that I believe that with more years and with better offensive line play and better structure with the coaching staff, I think it's something that Daniel Jones is going to be good on. I think that in terms of processing defense or making throws quickly, I think that Josh Rosen might be in a little bit of trouble. Jameis Winston still in year 5 is making it has a slow release, has poor ball security as well. And he didn't improve. Marcus Mariota wasn't able to improve in year 5. Like, you got to give these guys about 3 to 4 to 5 years. I think we're writing off Trubisky too soon. That Bears defense is not good. They're not close to where they were last year under Vic Fangio. Their time of possession is so down, and they've kind of quit on the offense. So, when you look at Trubisky, I mean, in that Eagles game that I went to, Trubisky is not getting a lot of opportunities. And then Trubisky, when he does get those opportunities, they're against some like really good team like the Saints and stuff. So, um, yeah. I mean, first of all, Jamal Adams was sensational today. He's a big time player. He's a big time box safety. He can hit, and Jamal Adams is an absolute stud for the New York Jets. He's been a great player for him. Absolutely. Um, did Bad Dog and Chris go to the game today? Yeah, it's because I was out of town most of the weekend, and the Giants this year. I mean, unfortunately, there's nothing to look forward to with this team clocks. And if there was a really intense big game, I would definitely try to go. I would do everything in my power to go. But I'm sure those guys had a great time. And whoever got to meet those guys, it's absolutely awesome that they got to go. I'm excited, Charles, to watch Packers and Panthers and see if Kyle Allen can kind of hold his own. But we just saw teams today in the first hour, like the Cardinals, the Buffalo Bills, the Chiefs, like they just had poor game management at the end of these games. And the NFL is going to be close, and just really stupid stuff from some young teams like the Cardinals, the Buffalo Bills. And I mean, the Bills are still 6-3, but the Cardinals losing to Tampa Bay, I mean, that's not a game a lot of you guys are watching. But Kyler Murray and this young team just made some horrible, horrible plays. I mean, a drop touchdown, numerous plays to lose a game. I think the Cowboys also have talent. I do. I think that's a good comment right there because they have good offensive line play, a good running game. DeMarcus Lawrence, they also have that guy that they picked up, Robert Quinn. On the back end now, their secondary, I think, is helped out by Chris Richard, but I think they do have some talent on that team. Their linebackers in all three levels, they have big time Pro Bowl players. And I think the Cowboys are going to win the night against the Minnesota Vikings. I think Kirk Cousins is going to, return to being Kirk Cousins again. And it's a very tough game to predict, but I think that the Cowboys are going to win the night. I don't think that the Bills are going to miss the playoffs. The Bills are still good enough. Their defense is still good enough to win. Josh Allen, the running game. I also think the Bills play very well at home, and the Bills are going to go 11-5 and absolutely make the playoffs. And they're building this thing. They are, and they had a chance to be 7-2 today. I'm glad Kyle Allen's doing well, and it's less of a distraction that Cam's hurt, but I hope he gets better. I'm not worried. I mean, because Giants fans, they know the Giants fans know. There was nothing breaking news about losing today to the Jets. I mean, it just reinforced what we knew that Pat Shermer is an absolute fraudulent coach. That's what we found out today, and he's done. I'm really happy because this owner of the Giants, he doesn't do anything to actually improve the team, and the owner of the Giants needs to see exactly how terrible Pat Shermer is because we never get to hear from him. He's not like Jerry Jones. He's not talking. And I've said for weeks and weeks now that Shermer is just done. And today wasn't even their worst game. I thought the players played with great heart when they were down 14-0. Like if they played with this effort, say against Minnesota, or say that they played with this effort against like Arizona, or they played with this defensive intensity against the Lions, I think they would have won some of these games because I like the pass rush. I like the way that they played. Now they gave up some plays on the back end, but even Antoine Buffet, I mean, they were down 14-0. They gave it their all in this game. There was no running game to help out. And the Jets, they couldn't get guys on the ground on defense with yards after catch. But I thought the guys are playing. I really do. I see Baker playing well. I thought that pass interference call was a big play in the game. Because even though Robbie Anderson stopped, I mean, Baker still had his hands up. He wasn't restricting at all. So even though he had his back to the ball, he wasn't restricting the catch. He wasn't. He just had his back to the ball. He put his hands up so the ball might deflect off of him, but he didn't push Anderson at all. Anderson completely sold that play, and it was a 40-yard play, and that's what's kind of going to decide games. So I think that this defensive line, though, you look at DeMarcus Lawrence, he's going to be a player in this league. You look at Marcus Golden, and he's still going to have a year or two left of playing really well coming off the edge, all right? You add in a Connolly, all right, that's going to help out this defense. DeAndre Baker is getting better, okay? He is going to learn and get better in this league. And Dalvin Tomlinson had a monster game. He was just everywhere today. He's playing with great enthusiasm. We're not getting rid of Tomlinson. Janoris Jenkins is going to be replaced. And Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, and Tomlinson, like that's a great foundational piece. And then you have Connolly, you have Ogletree, and you're going to be able to then draft an elite defensive player. I don't want a wide receiver at all. I think that when Sterling Shepard and Saquon comes back healthy, I think that Slayton, Ingram, and these guys are way good enough. The Giants need like a Chase Young. The Giants need maybe a guy like Derek Brown from Auburn. They're going to try to incorporate another stud pass rusher with a top 5 pick. And when you add that to Marcus Golden, when Lorenzo Carter can come back, and then the Giants in the second round can look at maybe a cornerback again, another guy for the secondary, maybe a freaking linebacker. that is a 3-level linebacker. I mean, even in the first round, the Giants, if they don't like the pass rusher, can get this linebacker out of Clemson, Elijah Simmons. So there's good options, and Shermer is going to be gone. Okay, he's not a winning coach. He doesn't know how to manage time well. He doesn't motivate his teammates at all. And he's not an inspirational leader that you need in an NFL coach. And he's and his time has passed to be an NFL coach, especially with the Giants. And the Giants are going to go look for a new young head football coach, and it's going to be a great offseason of great fun. And the Jets are going to be looking for a coach as well. It's just the Giants now have a quarterback. I don't believe that Darnold is a franchise quarterback. I think that actually the Jets will be wise to go look at a Jacob Eason or a Herbert, but who knows if you guys are going to do that. I don't think the GM is horrible at all. I mean, there's no money to really be spent in free agency. I mean, I know he went out and tried to get Nate Solder, but what is he not going to have at left tackle? I mean, every move Gettleman has made has been absolutely fine. I mean, he extended Ingram and Sterling Shepard. Darius Slayton's a really good draft pick. Daniel Jones is functioning as a quarterback. He's thrown for 4 touchdowns in multiple games as a rookie quarterback. He's a really smart kid. He's big, and he can make big third down throws with absolutely no running game. He went out, he acquired Peppers, Zeitler. There's some players on this team that are even going to get better. And I just think that the coaching staff is eventually going to leave. And now the Giants are going to get another great draft pick. I think Gettleman has set the franchise up for a lot of success. I mean, I think next year should be 8-9 win season. I really do. I think it should be an 8-win year or a 9-win season with a lot of progress. I mean, these are close games that a coach that can come on in here with another draft class and a free agency class, this is going to be a team that's going to be really good with a young and cheap quarterback option. I really do. I mean, I think Saquon Charles is hurt, and Jamal Adams is one of the toughest guys to block in football. I would say he isn't a franchise guy because he can't hit long throws and because his career record is absolutely terrible. I mean, this is a guy who lost to the Dolphins last week. He lost to the Jaguars. I mean, just because Darnold can only throw when plays are very off schedule, when he's stepping up and throwing to his right. I mean, he can't make second level throws. He even missed that flea flicker that was absolutely wide open deep down the field. He can't make big level throws. He's not going to be a big level guy. Um, just my prediction on him. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky, Baker Mayfield, these guys are all big armed quarterbacks, and Darnold does not have the arm strength to play at this league. He doesn't have the mobility, the ball security. He doesn't have the height. There's a lot of things with Darnold that I just don't like about Darnold's game. But I've been consistent on that Darnold. I don't think that Darnold's been very good. I've been consistent on that. I don't think that Gettleman's an idiot at all. I mean, who's going to do better with this Giants team? I mean, who's going to draft better when you have no money to spend, when you still have the Odell Beckham dead cap hit? I mean, you don't have any possible ways to spend any money. I mean, I don't know why Giants fans would expect Gettleman to put together a better team. And he even went out there and got a Leonard Williams for Giants fans to be happy about. But the Giants have Shermer, who is a career loser as a coach. It's very simple. They got to get rid of him, and they got to bring in a young, good offensive coordinator. And there's multiple guys they can bring in, like I said in my previous videos. Kellen Moore, Shane Steichen, they can interview. Mike Kafka, they can interview. Matt Eberflus, you can interview. Chris Richard, Lincoln Riley. There's a lot of guys. Matt Rule, you got to try something different. You do. Okay, Brian. No, I mean, Brian, you're invested in Darnold, and that is absolutely great. And I've been wrong on so many things. I'm wrong on most things, so that might just be another thing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So guys, it's been a lot of fun. I hope you guys like the feed a lot. I'm gonna try to do some film reviews. I'll break down the games and the key moments of big games. I will cover the Bills, I'll cover the Niners, I'll cover Jets and Giants. I mean, I pretty much covered Jets and Giants on this video. It was a game with 3 combined victories between the 2 teams, but the Giants again winning in the draft order, winning with Shermer continuing to lose, and Shermer is going to get fired eventually. And for the owner of the Giants to see that the Giants continue to lose these games, it's just all a positive for John Mara to finally see how terrible his coach is, because I don't know if the guy watches games. I don't know if the guy even cares, because he's just he doesn't make changes. He's not tough enough, and I want John Mara to be tough, and I want him to consider making changes. And if Shermer's fired right now, like, I'm not going to miss him. I don't miss this offense. I don't miss this red zone scheme. I don't miss, no deep passes, no creativity. There's nothing creative in the run game either. And even if you have terrible linemen, you could still try to get Saquon Barkley. You could still game plan. And he's just dry. And the players on offense and defense, they're just not. I really think that the motivation is lacking. I mean, today was a little bit better, but throughout the whole season, I think he's really lost this locker room, especially with the trade deadline and so many things. Yeah, DB. I think Kellen is elite. He's 31 years old. The guy's been prepping to be a head coach his whole life. He's a backup quarterback. Backup quarterbacks are usually great head coaches. His demeanor is absolutely beyond his years. He works well with Dak Prescott. He motivates this offense. He comes up with so much jet motion. He creates great matchups. He's attack oriented. He's fearless out there. He attacks the defense. He doesn't hold back. And, he had a couple tough games versus the Packers and New Orleans, but I mean, when you look at New Orleans or you look at the Jets defense, the Jets are 6 against the run. The New Orleans Saints defense is why the Saints are one of the best teams in the NFL. So I still think Kellen's done an excellent, excellent job. Charles, I always appreciate the commentary, my friend. And I think Daniel Jones is going to be fine. I think and fine meaning I think he's going to be a fine NFL quarterback. I mean, you look around the league and there's 5 to 7 amazing quarterbacks, and I think Jones will be just shy of that, and he has the potential to maybe some year sneak into that. And he's smart, and he's going through his first carousel as an NFL quarterback, and he's doing absolutely fine. So, alrighty, guys. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the heck out of this, and I hope you guys had fun too. Take care. Enjoy your Sunday. Peace out.